I got my hands on the two of the best green divers on the market. This is my opinion. Yours might be different from mine, and that's okay too. But this is the Rolex Submariner Hulk Omega Seamaster, the Seaweed as people like to call it. And as far as, like I said, green watches go, these are top of the line in my opinion. Now this is not going to be a video on, you know, specs, movements, and all that stuff. This is just going to be, you know, if you had to pick one of these, which one would you go for? Just based on the look and the features of, you know, the bracelet and whatnot. Oh, for a wrist check, I'm wearing my Rolex Starbucks. This is my latest watch. I'm in love with this one here. But between these two, which one would you pick? Just based on the looks of these watches. Both of these movements are great. Both of these watches are going to do everything you need. But both of these are going to be great watches to wear as dailies. Now the Omega, the Seaweed, it is green, but it's a darker green. And I don't have any sunlight here right now at the moment, but you can tell that this looks like a black watch. And that is one thing that makes this, it makes it a little bit unique. It makes it very cool because right now it looks black, but when the sunlight hits it, it will go that nice green. I'll throw in a video here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But I do think that this being that dark green is a very nice feature of this watch. The Hulk is a bright green watch. There is no getting around that. Like I said, right now I don't have much sunlight, so, you know, it's going to be might be a little more difficult to catch that green. But here you can tell the difference. You know, here's the Starbucks with just the green bezel, and here's the Hulk next to it, fully in the green. If you had to pick one of these two, which one would you go for? I used to not like the Omega bracelet. I used to think it was too big, too thick, too heavy. But after you wear this for about a week or two, you are going to get used to it. And I believe you are going to fall in love with it. It is a beautiful looking bracelet. I don't think it has a fault. I used to think that it has to taper, and because it doesn't taper, it's not a good bracelet. No, they had a purpose for this. They knew what they were doing, and it looks great on this bigger watch here. But also the bracelet on the Rolex. It's a great bracelet. It's extremely comfortable, a little more comfortable than the Omega one. But both are perfect for everyday wear, in my opinion. The Omega is a little bit shinier. It's got some polished pieces on it, so it's going to stand out a little more. It's going to look a little bit more shinier. But again, guys, both of these are really good bracelets. Now, when we talk about money, you can buy these all day long on the used market for probably about $4,500, maybe $5,000. If you want a brand new one that's been worn once or twice, you can probably get it for $5,500. Whereas the Hulk, I think they're over $20,000 right now. And of course, these are discontinued, so you cannot go to your AD and buy one. But even if they weren't discontinued, not like you can get one of these anyway, because the wait lists are just stupid. That's why I went to the gray market for mine. I don't want to play the Rolex games. If I save my money and I want something, I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. And for anyone that says, oh, you're overpaying, I don't care, because we are all overpaying for these timepieces anyway. They are essentially useless. They tell us the time and they look cool on our wrist. But we all have a phone in our hands 24/7. And like I said in the video before, if you want the most accurate time in the world, you're just going to look at your phone. However, this useless hobby of ours, this addiction, you know, this is what we do. So the Omega does have an open case back, which is actually really nice. If you want to check out the great Omega movement, it is pretty cool. Let's see if we can zoom out and use the macro lens to get in a little closer. But so you can do that with the Omega. You know, if you take it off, you want to show someone what the movement looks like, you can do that. And that's a very nice feature. I like open case backs. Both of them have micro adjustments. Omegas, you press there, move it in and out. Great, beautiful functionality. And here is the Hulk. I'll open this one. Yeah, just it's a closed case back. Nothing to see there. You know, you kind of already know what's in there. So does have micro adjustments as well. It's quite easy. Slide mechanism. I like the Omegas a little better, I think, because you just press and push right out, you know, versus having to, I don't know, I just think that works a little better, in my opinion. But they both work great. And I'll just show you real quick since I have this watch on me. Here is the updated Rolex case versus the old one. It is a little bigger. The lugs are a little nicer. But, you know, I prefer this case over this one. And in my opinion, I like the Starbucks better than I like the Hulk. I like the black dial with the green around it. That's just my preference, but, you know, you cannot go wrong with either one of these. And so I'll get both of these on my wrist to give you guys an idea of what they look like. There's the Omega. I mean, it's a beautiful watch. And I do like this bracelet. I don't care what anyone says. This is a great looking bracelet. It's beautiful. I just wish I had a little bit of sunlight so this thing could go full green, but you know, it is what it is. It's fall time in Iowa. And let's throw on the Hulk for, you know, wrist shot comparison. There it is. Beautiful watch, guys. Absolutely beautiful. Cannot go wrong with either one of these. I mean, that's a great looking watch. I will say I think the Omega bracelet is a little prettier with the polished parts of it, you know, if that's what you're going for. But let's see, I'll throw that one back on again, show you exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, it is definitely a bit more shiny, a bit more eye-catching. I think if you're wearing, well, you know, where I live, I don't have to worry about anyone trying to rob me. But if you are in New York or Chicago or London or somewhere crazy, you know, you are much more likely to get robbed by these thieves if they spot a Hulk on your wrist than you are if they, you know, spot an Omega Seamaster on your wrist. So this one might get your wrist taken off. The other one, they'll just walk by you. But yeah, just a real quick video on these two, the Rolex Submariner Hulk, the Omega Seamaster Seaweed, as many call it. But these are both beautiful timepieces. You cannot go wrong with either one of them. If you, obviously, like I mentioned, if you want a Hulk, you're going to have to spend probably around $20,000. This one is going to cost you, you know, if you want a brand new from Omega, $6,200, but you can get these in amazing mint condition for $5,500, sometimes even $5,000 all day long. So that the price is really, the price difference is staggering. But again, these are discontinued, so these are not. Omega's still making these. They're probably going to be making these for a very long time, and like I said, even if these were not discontinued, you and me most likely could not go to the AD and say, hey, get me the Hulk. And, you know, you guys know how it is. The wait list is very, very, very long. That is why, like I said before, I went to the gray market. I really wanted the Starbucks, and it sucks having to pay more money than we have to for these things, but it is what it is. It's all a useless hobby, and we don't actually need any of this, but it is an addiction. It's a real addiction for a lot of us. But hopefully you got something out of this video. It's just a quick comparison based on how these look, because like I said, they both are great companies. Quality's the same. Movements are gonna do exactly what you need them to do. You know, this one might have a little more magnet endurance and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Throw that out the window. Which one do you like based on the looks? And obviously the price difference is insane. So, but for my money, it's such a hard choice. I love this Omega Seamaster, but this is a really nice watch too. If I had to pick one to be my forever watch, if they were both the same amount of money and they were never going to be more or less, they were just remaining the same amount of money, I am going to take the Omega Seamaster over this Hulk, because this is just my favorite watch. This, you know, I've had this for 2 weeks now, I think, and I've been wearing it every day. I still wear my Omega, but I think a lot of that has to do with this being the latest and greatest for me, and I'm in that honeymoon phase where I'm probably going to wear this every day for the next couple of months, and then I'll be back to my favorite on this bracelet or the rubber strap, and this one is going to be sitting in the box. I think that's what's going to happen. So anyway, do you guys have these watches? And like I said, which one would you take if you could get one and money was no object? Oh, just based on the looks. Like I said, forget all the little small details in the movement. Like I said, they will both do everything you need them to do. Both of these movements are amazing, accurate. So you can split hairs there. You know, this is just a video about how they look. That's it.